Hi, this is Karen Hovanek to talk to you about your options for Spanish 1, the 2013-2014 school year. So before we begin, let's talk about what it is that we learn in Spanish 1. We learn quite a bit of vocabulary, some grammar, we do some writing, pretty basic writing, basic sentence and sentence structure. Reading, we talk about the culture of Spanish-speaking countries, and then we speak Spanish as well. When I made this list, I kind of put it in the order in which I think we do things from the most to the least. And you'll see at the bottom of that list is speaking. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One of them being just the basic classroom setup, 30 students and one teacher. The speaking we do, I have to count on students to help each other and things like that. It's kind of just the nature of the beast. We're just now starting to integrate some technology into the Spanish classroom, and that should help with that, hopefully get that to move up. Because when I ask my students why they're taking Spanish, the majority of them say for their diploma, which is understandable, but they also do want to learn how to speak Spanish. So it's kind of exciting that the two options that are new for next year will incorporate quite a bit of opportunity to speak Spanish. So here are your three options for next school year. You can be in a traditional face-to-face class. This is the Spanish class I was in high school. This is the Spanish class pretty much everyone has all around the world. In the United States at least, this is how we learn language. The second option is the fully online class. If you would like to learn more about the fully online class, the Center Grove Global Campus has a great website. And if you go to the district webpage, you'll be able to access lots of information about not just the Spanish class available online, but other online classes as well. And then the newest addition is this blended class, which will take the best of number 1 and 2 and put them together. So I'm going to kind of focus on what a blended class looks like, as it's the one that people seem to know the least about. So a blended class takes the best of online learning and a face-to-face class and puts it together. I really like this because we spend a lot of time doing things in class that students really don't need me there to do. Practice and drill and things like that they could easily do on their own. And if they did, they would probably learn and retain more. And it's just not the best use of class time, but it is the nature of the beast. And so we continue to do it. So that online piece would give students the opportunity to practice and do some repetitive things. Even like listening and speaking can be done online. But lots of options. And the nice thing about online is someone by themselves can do things a lot faster and better than if they're one of 30 in the classroom. And then students would also have the face-to-face classroom experience where they would have me to ask and answer questions. We would do testing and quizzing that way, and we could spend a good chunk of time speaking the language. And that is basically what blended learning is. So what does a traditional class look like? So this would be face-to-face class. We would come in, whatever we had been doing, we'll take a quiz. Maybe they do like some sort of handout where I have questions and you're my partner, I ask and you answer. Then maybe we go on and read about some Spanish culture topic. The most recent one we read about in Spanish 1 class was Semana Santa, right before Easter. Maybe we do a handout with some verb practice. We do a workbook page. Then we get some homework and some things to do at home. So it's pretty traditional, nothing too out there in that class. So what does an online day look like? So this would be the first part of the blended class. You would watch an instructional video that I would make about whatever topic we're working on. Practice your vocab words. Record yourself using your vocab and send it to me. Review anything that I have sent back to you from the previous class. Watch something authentic, maybe a commercial, maybe a clip from a movie, or even just listen to something authentic. And then submit some sort of practice for whatever grammar topic that we've been doing. All of this can be done independently without interruption from others at a computer at school. This online day will take place in the Center Grove High School Media Center. So students will be in there at their own computer doing their own thing. Then they would come to class, and perhaps we have a quiz scheduled. We would do that, and then we would ask questions about online work from the previous class. Usually I would have them submit these to me in advance. So like, what did you not understand from what you were working on? What do you need extra practice? So I would be prepared to answer their questions in advance. Students are much more likely to ask a question in that format than in class raising their hand. We would probably circle up and ask and answer questions using our current vocabulary. This would probably only be 13 to 15 students, so I could much easier speak one-on-one and police what they're doing. I hate to use the word police, but keep an eye on things. We can talk together that way. We could read a story in the target language and discuss. A lot of language skills can be learned from reading, and so that would be something that we could do. You could get a partner and practice some sort of dialogue that you and a partner had written. And then maybe we would listen to a speaker from Spain and a speaker from Argentina and talk about how their accents are different. Again, this would only be half of the class doing this because the other half would be online, and then they would switch the following day. So the biggest thing that you and your child have to decide is if they are right for this type of shift in learning. So to be successful at either online or a blended class, students really have to have some self-motivation. They have to be able to go in on their online day if they're in a blended class and get that work done. If they're in fully online, they have to be able to motivate themselves daily to do what's expected of them throughout the week. They have to have a little bit of organization, especially when it comes to deadlines, knowing that you have to have something done by Sunday and working toward it every day so that you don't save something for the absolute last minute. I also think that both of these classes, the online especially, will help develop that skill of organization. You have to be able to communicate effectively through web-based tools. I don't think you have to be a technology expert in anything, but be able to email, Skype, and use our online learning management system called Canvas, which is quite user-friendly. And you have to have some time management. And can you do work when no one is looking? This is really tough for today's learner. Even in my face-to-face class, it is really easy for kids to hide and not do much. And so students have to be able to see that their practice and time on the computer is going to benefit them, and they have to make sure that they can get that done. So I mentioned a moment ago that we use a learning management system called Canvas, and this is just a snapshot of the fully online course, and everything's set up into what we call modules, and they have like step-by-step things on what they have to do. Work is submitted through here, communication happens through here. It's really a pretty amazing program. I've been using it with my Spanish 1 classes this semester, and they really like it. They haven't had any trouble with the adjustment. So it's really pretty great. Okay, students always seem to wonder before they dive into a fully online class if they will ever have any interaction in person with their teacher. That's always an option. So in the school day, we have STAR and Study Hall built in, which is a time that students could see me if they needed help. And then with just a little bit of notice, I can be available before or after school if a student needs a little extra attention on something or some part just isn't quite clicking. It's always an option. And the beauty of online is we can do some of that stuff online through a Google Hangout or Skype. So we don't always have to be in the exact same room to talk to each other. It's pretty nice. Okay, it's time to make some decisions. So you need to talk with your child, and your child needs to talk to you about which of these sounds good. I will happily answer questions if you have them. I felt like at the meeting on Friday, a lot of students really, I think, want to know, are these going to be easy? And that's the choice students want to make. They want to make the one that's easy. And unfortunately, learning a language is not easy, and it requires work. I don't think any one of these choices is any easier than any other. And some of them like the online and the blended is just simply different. So I wish I could say, oh my gosh, you should take the blended because it's going to be super easy and everyone's going to get an A, but that's probably not going to be the case. So really, we want your child to be in the best place for them as a learner. So with that said, if you need more information, please feel free to contact myself, Karen Hovanek. I'm a Spanish teacher. You can also contact Joanna Ray, the director of online learning at Center Grove High School, and the two of us can answer some questions. To get your child in one of these directions, we've made a survey where they can say what their intentions are. Some of them took this survey at the meeting, some of them did it on paper, some of them did it electronically. If that hasn't been done or your child wasn't at the meeting on Friday, this is the place to share your feelings. So let us know what you're thinking for next year. Thanks again. And Karen Hovanek, should you have questions, just let me know. Thanks.